Imagine a typical morning. You're busy with your daily routine. At that very moment, a piercing siren blares across your city. An unprecedented warning flashes on your mobile phone. Ballistic missile alert. This is not a drill. Chaos erupts on the streets. People running, confusion, and terror. You have only a few minutes. What will you do? Where will you go? Within minutes, an unbearable flash of light appears on the horizon, 1,000 times brighter than the sun. It's followed by a cataclysmic explosion and a shockwave that reduces your familiar city to rubble in an instant. This is not a scene from a movie. This is the grim reality of a nuclear war. But as millions fall victim to this all-consuming devastation, at that very moment, in various parts of the world, hundreds of feet underground, in impregnable fortresses of steel and concrete, a group of people is preparing to start a new life. They are the fortunate few who have found the security of a nuclear bunker. Who will survive after a nuclear war? Can these secret nuclear bunkers scattered across the globe save human civilization? Or are they merely temporary shelters for a select few? Today, we will explore the reality of a post-nuclear war world and the struggle for survival. Before we tell the story of survival, we must understand what people are trying to survive from. A nuclear war is not like a conventional war. Its destruction is multifaceted and long-lasting, defying our imagination. The first effect of a nuclear bomb's detonation is its immense blast wave. It spreads faster than the speed of sound, and the resulting air pressure can flatten concrete buildings like a house of cards. Everything within miles of the explosion's center, or ground zero, is literally leveled. Next comes the thermal radiation. The fireball created by the blast can reach temperatures equal to the core of the sun. Its intense light and heat can vaporize or incinerate everything within a radius of several miles. Those who survive the initial blast will suffer severe burns. Finally, there is the initial neutron radiation, an invisible killer that ionizes and destroys living cells from within. After the explosion, thousands of tons of dust and debris are carried as radioactive particles into the upper atmosphere with the mushroom cloud. These deadly radioactive particles are the fallout. Carried by the wind, they can spread for hundreds, even thousands, of miles and slowly descend to the ground like a gray or black rain. This fallout contaminates the environment for decades. For any living creature, exposure can lead to severe radiation sickness or death. Symptoms include vomiting, hair loss, internal bleeding, and ultimately, an agonizing death. If a nuclear bomb is detonated high above the ground in the stratosphere, it will create a powerful electromagnetic pulse, EMP. This invisible wave causes no physical damage, but will permanently destroy all electronic circuits, power grids, computers, cars, and communication systems over a vast area. The modern world would instantly revert to a technological dark age. And if multiple nuclear bombs are detonated, the immense smoke and ash from burning cities and forests will cover the atmosphere like a thick blanket. This will prevent sunlight from reaching the Earth, causing the global average temperature to drop dramatically, perhaps by 20–30 degrees Celsius. This condition is called nuclear winter. It would lead to a worldwide cessation of crop production, resulting in global famine and mass death. Those who survive the blasts and fallout might perish from this famine and cold. Nuclear bunkers were created to survive this four-pronged devastation. Since the Cold War, the world's major powers have built highly secret and fortified underground bunkers for the continuity of government. The objective is to ensure that the nation's leadership survives a nuclear attack and can manage the war or the country from a command center. In the United States, there are several such bunkers that have become legendary. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex in Colorado is the most iconic bunker of the Cold War. Built 2,000 feet deep inside a granite mountain, this complex is protected by 25-ton blast doors capable of withstanding multiple nuclear strikes. It once housed the headquarters of North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, from where the entire North American airspace was monitored. It has its own power plant, water reserves, and all the facilities needed to run a small city. The Raven Rock Mountain Complex, Site R, in Pennsylvania, is known as the Underground Pentagon. It contains roads, various buildings, and accommodations for several thousand people. The plan is to relocate America's military leadership here during a nuclear war. Mount Weather in Virginia is the designated shelter for America's civilian leadership. It houses the headquarters of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and has facilities for the president, his cabinet, and other key officials. It even has its own law enforcement and system of government. Meanwhile, Russia has also built massive and mysterious bunkers to protect its leadership, no less formidable than America's. The Mount Yamantau complex in the Ural Mountains is a subject of much mystery and speculation in the West. Analysis of satellite imagery by American intelligence agencies suggests it is a massive underground city covering an area of about 400 square miles and capable of housing 60,000 people. It is believed to be Russia's main command center for nuclear war. Kozvinsky Kamen, another granite-carved command post deep within the Ural Mountains, is designed to withstand a direct nuclear strike and is linked to Russia's Strategic Nuclear Forces Command System. Metro 2. It is rumored that a secret, deeper metro system exists beneath Moscow's public metro, known as Metro 2. It allegedly connects the Kremlin with other key military and government bunkers, allowing the leadership to be evacuated safely in a crisis. It is important to note, however, that these bunkers prioritize only the country's president or prime minister, top military generals, intelligence chiefs, and a few essential scientists and engineers. There is no room here for the general public. Though the Cold War has ended, the fear of nuclear war has not, and a new industry has emerged from this fear: building luxury nuclear bunkers for the super rich. The world's wealthiest are now spending millions of dollars to create their own safe havens underground for themselves and their families. Among them are the Survival Condo Project in Kansas. An abandoned Atlas missile silo has been converted into this bunker. This 15-story underground structure features luxury apartments, a 7D movie theater, a park for pets, a shooting range, a swimming pool, and a hydroponic garden capable of growing fresh vegetables for years. An apartment here costs several $1,000,000. Vivo's X Point in South Dakota is one of the world's largest private bunker communities. Here, nearly 575 military-built concrete bunkers are being converted for civilian use. Its creators describe it as a modern Noah's Ark, claiming a new civilization could be started from here after a nuclear war. The Oppidum in the Czech Republic is touted as the world's largest billionaire bunker. Located beneath a hill, this massive complex offers luxurious living spaces alongside a private golf course, helipad, art gallery, and other amenities. These private bunkers prove that the right to survive in the future has become a commodity to be bought and sold. It is a form of ultimate nihilism, where some people believe that civilization is doomed and are preparing to save only themselves. So, what happens to ordinary people? Where is their shelter in a nuclear war? The answer varies by country. Switzerland is a unique example when it comes to nuclear shelters. By law, every Swiss citizen is guaranteed a place in a nuclear bunker. Nearly every house, apartment building, and public building has a bunker underneath. There are enough bunkers to shelter the entire country's population. These bunkers are equipped with NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical filters and are designed for long-term survival. Sweden and Finland also built thousands of public shelters in their granite bedrock during the Cold War, which are still maintained today. During the Cold War, the United States also had a nationwide fallout shelter program, but these were not true bunkers. They were mostly basements of schools or public buildings that could only offer temporary protection from radioactive fallout, not a direct blast. These shelters were often empty, with no provisions for food, water, or medicine. Today, this program is defunct, and there are virtually no public nuclear shelters for the general American population. This picture makes it clear that in a nuclear war, the ordinary people of most countries will be the most helpless and vulnerable. Their only hope will be a self-made shelter or sheer luck. Let's assume you've managed to take shelter inside a bunker. What next? Life underground will be a difficult psychological and social test. Most bunkers are designed for survival for a few months to 1 or 2 years. They have long-term food supplies, usually dehydrated or freeze-dried, water sources like underground wells and recycling systems, diesel generators for electricity, and NBC filter systems to purify the air. But these resources are finite. The generator's fuel will run out, filters will need replacing, and food stocks will dwindle. Meanwhile, living in a confined space with the same people for months or years will create extreme psychological pressure. The knowledge that the outside world is destroyed, the lack of sunlight, and the frustration of a limited existence will breed depression, claustrophobia, and internal conflict. People will lose their sense of purpose. Minor disagreements could escalate into major conflicts. Furthermore, the social structures of the old world will collapse inside the bunker. A doctor, a mechanic, or a farmer will be far more valuable than a billionaire CEO. Conflicts may arise over power and leadership. How will a new society be formed? What will the laws be? How will criminals be judged? There are no easy answers to these questions. If life inside the bunker is a test, the world outside will be a living hell. When the bunker doors open after a few years, the survivors will step into a completely different world. First, due to the nuclear winter, the Earth will be a cold, dark, and barren planet. The atmosphere's ozone layer will be severely damaged, making the sun's ultraviolet rays lethal. Special suits will be required to go outside. Although the intensity of fallout will have decreased significantly, various hotspots around the globe will remain dangerously radioactive for decades. Water and soil will be contaminated, making it nearly impossible to grow crops or find pure water. Meanwhile, the power grid, the internet, communication systems, factories, hospitals, no sign of modern civilization will remain. The survivors will have to start from scratch. They will have to hunt, try to grow food in contaminated soil, and form groups for protection. This will lead to bloody conflicts between survivor groups over resources. The technologically advanced but numerically inferior people emerging from the bunkers might become easy prey for the violent and desperate outsiders who will want to take their resources at any cost. All this analysis brings us to one final question: can these nuclear bunkers truly save human civilization? The answer is probably not. These bunkers might save thousands or even millions of people from the immediate effects of a nuclear war. They might save the human species from extinction, but they cannot save human civilization. Civilization is not just a collection of people, it is our accumulated knowledge, culture, art, science, and social structures from thousands of years. After a nuclear war, all of this will be destroyed. The books in libraries will be burned to ash, the data on the internet will be erased, and knowledge passed down through generations will be lost. The people who emerge from the bunkers may be able to sustain the human species, but they might have to start over from the Stone Age. The complex supply chain and knowledge required to build a single smartphone might take 1,000 years to recover. Nuclear bunkers are one of humankind's darkest inventions. They are a silent admission of the fact that we might fail to control the weapons we've created. It is a technological solution, but the problem isn't technological, it's political and human. Ultimately, the only sure way to survive a nuclear war is to prevent one at all costs. Because in a game where you have to destroy the entire world to win, nobody really wins.